Cheryl, and welcome. Today I am going to start attempting to finalize my plans for the farmhouse kitchen. Now, here is a very crude drawing. I'm not good at this unless I have a ruler and really plan it out, but this is a really crude drawing of what I want, how I kind of want the basic kitchen layout. I want the sink on that wall under the window, and then the spaces beside it will be cabinets. There will probably be upper cabinets above it and on the side. Okay, with this big doorway, I am so limited on size of cabinets. I can't use actual 1/12 scale cabinets because they stick out past the door opening. So I'll be making my own cabinets for that. So it's just too big. So anyway, moving on, I want to put an island in the middle, and I bought a table specifically to make into an island. I may have to raise it up a little bit. We'll see when I get the cupboards in. So the stove is going to go on the opposite wall over by where the door is. And then I love those old rounded shelves, but I drew that one in a little too big. But I'd like to put some of them at the end of the stove on the one side by the door. And then the fridge is probably going to go toward that back short wall on that side. And I'm sure if there's room, there may be a little cupboard right there in that spot. So that's the very, very, very basic of the kitchen that I want to do. And now I've come to the dilemma of walls. Now, a lot of you said wallpaper, and I like that idea, but I can't find anything I like. Nothing. I've got scrapbook papers here, I've got dollhouse wallpapers here, and I just am not finding what I want. So I'm going, do I keep looking and never get this kitchen going if I can't find it, what I want? Or do I go ahead and do something like using some paint colors? And that in itself leads to a problem because I've got the antique parchment in the living room, I've got the wallpaper in the dining room, and I don't want I don't want to use the antique parchment right now. I like it. I think it's a good color for walls. It's not a stark white, but it's a nice off white. And so then I started thinking, I want this to be I thought I wanted it to be a bright kitchen at this point. So I got out some paint and I sat there and I thought about it. And I've got a lot of paint colors and I looked through it. And since the dining room walls have the green in them with the lemons, which don't really show up, I thought of yellow. Now, this is a pale daffodil, and this pale daffodil is very bright. The camera is not showing you the actual colors. And then this is actual yellow, which here looks like an egg yolk, but actually it's actual yellow. And I have fluorescent light, doesn't help with this because the colors just don't come out true. I know that I do not want to use either of these colors exactly like they are because of the brightness, because that's not what I want. So I think we're going to mix up a little bit of paint here. We're going to try these colors and see what we can do with them to maybe knock down some of that brightness. So I'm just going to take the brush and I'm either going to mix, at this point I thought of either mixing with antique parchment or white. And I started, get this old piece of scrapbook paper. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to start with the pale daffodil. And it's at this point I realize that this is a brand new bottle that I haven't even removed the seal from yet. I had bought two of these for a project, and I'm going to get the other one right now. And I never did get around to that project. So I have two bottles of this stuff. And using it up in the kitchen just seemed to be, a logical choice since thought I wanted a bright kitchen. So I'm just grabbing that paint right now, and that one is open. That's the one I'd opened. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and put a little bit of this into the paint palette tray thing. And I'm going to first go and just put a coat of this on the paper just to see what it's going to look like. I'm already knowing in my head that it's not what I want to use, but I want to show you. So I'm just painting a little bit of that on there. And now I'm holding it up so you can see. And like I said, this camera is not picking up the true color. This is much lighter than it shows and very bright. So that is the pale daffodil without any other paint added to it. And I'm just getting a wipe here so I can wipe off my brush. I didn't have any water in here, and I didn't want to stop the video. And I thought about mixing it with the antique parchment, but it's got just a slight yellow already. So I decided I'm going to try mixing it with just a plain white. So we'll just stir this up and we'll put it down on the paper and compare. And the white, I put a lot of white in there and it did lighten it, but in the end it's better, but I'm still not really liking it. It's just it's not what I'm looking for. But that's the pale daffodil by itself and cut down with some white. So wiping my brush, and I'm gonna next I'm going for the plain yellow. Now I already know that this plain yellow is probably not the color I'm going to choose, whether I mix it with white or not. It is such a bright yellow, and it was a little bit clogged up there, so I'm just removing that. And now I'm putting some of that into another little spot on the paint palette, and just going to grab some of that by itself, and I'm going to paint it next to the pale daffodil. Not sure what's going on outside. Somebody's either working on something or somebody's shooting out fireworks still. And now, I mean, I already, like I said, no, this is too bright, too much. So I'm going to add quite a bit of white to it and mix that around. And I'm going to paint a line of that, and I'm going to show you. And now that I'm looking at them, I'm really not liking either one of them. Definitely not in their original form, and I'm not liking the ones I've added the white to either. It's just not what I want. So I'm back to the same dilemma with the walls. What am I gonna do with them, right? So yeah, I'm at this point I'm frustrating myself because I want to do this kitchen. I think it's gonna be one of the most fun rooms in the house, if you want my honest opinion. Because I mean it's a kitchen, it's kind of the heart of the house. It's where, meals are cooked and family gathers and talks, and it's just, yeah, it's a room I'm looking forward to, but right now with my indecision and not knowing exactly where I'm going to go with anything, it's a room that is frustrating me greatly. So, and I mean, not, I'm not like freaking out or anything. It's just there are so many possibilities, and so it's just an almost too much. So now I went and got this contact paper I bought because I wanted a tile floor. And I thought about using this for the floor, trying to create certain, I don't know. I'm thinking of all the different types of tile out there now. You have the 6x24s, and you have the, oh my gosh, there's just, so many different shapes and colors and that. And I keep looking at this going, you know, this really doesn't, I don't think it would make a good tile. And then another part of me goes, we could do linoleum, lay it like that. And it's like, I did that in grandma's kitchen, and I don't want houses to be similar. I want each house to be unique. So I am still thinking that this might be a possibility for the countertops. It would look like a light granite. So that's another thought for that. I'm just totally not sure at this time. So I guess, when it after this video goes up, I would like your opinion. I know it's hard without being able to have the counters there for a countertop or to have a piece of it cut out for a floor, but I come up with something else here in just a little while, and I'm sitting here going, yeah, this is the way to go. And as you will see, as things progress, I will go back to this, going, yeah, I don't know. It's the more I look at it and everything else, the more I decide that maybe a countertop, but definitely not a floor. But now I've got this other idea, and I'm trying to remember right now where I put this piece because I I originally was going to use it and then I didn't, and I put it away somewhere and I was like, where is it? And now I'm back to this stuff again, and I don't even know why I picked it back up. I think because it was something to have in my hands. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But it's just this big dilemma going on in my head, and I'm overcomplicating things, and I know I am. So yeah. So anyway, I'm at this point. I'm just probably yakking on about who knows what, and like, what am I gonna do? Uh, nothing is really what I want it to be now. So anyway, I'm going to stop right here and then I go find what I was looking for. And that leads us down another road. At the end, I'm not sure I want to go down. So, yeah, I'm just kind of saying I'll be back in a few minutes here. So, okay, so here's this, I started this for the farmhouse because originally I wanted to do the whole house in the style of the 1950s because mid century is one of my very favorite eras and decorating styles. And in a way, nobody wants to be really old, but I really regret that I did not live during the atomic era because everything was so cool. So I started this with that in mind and then decided that I didn't want to do a 50s because, you know, at the time I didn't feel I would be capable of really pulling off a good mid century house and not in an old farmhouse. But that is on my list of something to do someday is a mid century house or at least a mid century room box. So anyway, in just a minute we're gonna go out to the farm and I'm gonna show you I've got some shingling done. Yay! Amazing! I got some shingling done finally. And so here we are. We're out at the farmhouse. Sorry about the glare. It's in front. This house is in front of my huge dining room window, so I've got a lot of glare. Anyway, yeah, there I've got my shingling done that far so far. Tackling the biggest part first, and it is very time consuming, and it's not fun. But I want to get it done. I want to get the outside finished up, and so we're gonna go inside now. And here's the floor in the farmhouse. Please excuse the shaky camera. I am standing up and filming. And so this is the floor in there. As I said, the floor is not finished because I quit midway through the project. And so it's, I mean, it would look okay if I was doing a 50s house. And I know that most of it probably won't show once I put the cabinetry and everything else in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm on the window wall over here. I've got my wire tape going up, and my wire tape is rippling a little. And I'm not sure how I was going to cover that, but I am going to go ahead and I think just cut a piece of poster board for that and then stick it in with double-sided tape so that it can be removed if the wiring needs to have something done with that. So yeah, anyway, here's this in here. Let me know what you think. But as you will see in just a minute, I'm leaning against that too. So yeah, this is I'm way overcomplicating things and I need to just really think about what I want and how I want this house to be and what I really want for a kitchen. Okay, so now I'm back, and this is where I once again come up with another idea. I This is okay and I like it, but it definitely would have been much better had I pursued my 1950s theme. So anyway, it's these were, this was cut out. These tiles would be 12 by 12, standard tile size. The main tiles would be the green, and then the other tiles would be an off-white. I had never intended to make them a pure white because I think that would just be way too much contrast. And I don't think it would look good at all with bright white tile next to the green. So here is where I come up with another idea. And honestly, when I think about it, I'm really, really leaning toward doing terracotta tiles. Now, terracotta is going to go with both of my wood floors. It's going to go with the color schemes of the dining room and the living room. It is going to be, it's not going to be just the flower pot terracotta. I want different shades of terracotta for the floor if I do that. And I want to be able to do it in half-inch tiles. So I'm hoping that I can get it together and cut those out on my Cricut because these are just it's so tedious, cutting the strips and trying to get them even. So I'm hoping that if I do decide to do that, I want to run it through the Cricut and cut it that way. And my main reason for terracotta is it's going to add a warmth to the kitchen and it's going to give it that really, I'm hoping, homey feel, and it's going to let me be very versatile in my cupboards and maybe not so much on the walls, but you know, not really. The walls aren't really going to be the big deal because they're mostly going to be covered with cupboards anyway. So I am definitely now leaning toward terracotta. I don't know what you guys think. I don't have any samples of pre-done terracotta tile, so you'll have to kind of use your imagination with that. But I just honestly, I think that I'm really leaning toward the terracotta. And I apologize for being so chatty. You guys know voiceovers bother me, but I couldn't really leave the original talking in the video because I was so confused and stuff. So anyway, I am going to leave it at that. Please let me know what you think. I am so leaning toward terracotta now. I will get this up today and then I will see you again very, very soon. Thank you all for watching. Please hit like and subscribe and leave some comments. You don't have to praise me, just your ideas on what you think of what I'm thinking. Bye for now. Have a great day.